I'm 28 and share a duplex with my older brother in a quiet suburb. It's a two-story house, split into separate units. My brother lives downstairs. I've got the upstairs. Each has its own kitchen, living room, and entrance. My brother travels a lot for work, often leaving me alone for days. I'm used to it, but sometimes the emptiness of the house feels heavier than it should. One stormy night, I was alone, sprawled on my couch, watching a slasher flick. My upstairs is open plan, living room, kitchen, and dining area all in one big space. The couch faces the TV with a wide window and the kitchen behind me. It's not ideal for horror movies when you're by yourself. The shadows from the storm didn't help. Rain battered the windows, and the TV's glow was the only light in the room. I kept pausing the movie to glance at the window, half convinced I'd see a face pressed against it. At 28, I shouldn't be this jumpy, but the house creaks too much in bad weather. After the movie, I locked the doors, brushed my teeth, and went to bed. I fell asleep fast, lulled by the rain, but woke up around 3 a.m. to silence. The storm had stopped. My room was pitch black, and something felt off. Then I heard it, a faint tapping, like fingernails on glass, coming from downstairs. It wasn't my brother. He was out of town, and his car wasn't in the driveway when I got home. I sat up, listening. The tapping came again, rhythmic, deliberate, from his apartment. Groggy but uneasy, I grabbed my phone and crept to the hallway. I flicked on the light, but it flickered, casting long shadows. The tapping grew louder, now mixed with a low hum, like someone muttering. I called out, "Who's there?" No answer, just more tapping. I texted my brother, asking if he'd come home early. No reply. I hesitated, then headed downstairs, phone flashlight on, heart pounding. The muttering stopped as I reached the foyer, but the tapping continued, coming from his kitchen. I found the light switch by his door and flipped it. The bulb buzzed, barely illuminating the room. His apartment was empty. Couch, table, nothing out of place. I checked his bedroom, bathroom, nothing. "Hey!" I shouted, my voice shaking. Silence. Then a loud thud echoed from the kitchen, like a heavy book hitting the floor. I froze, staring at the empty room. I backed toward the stairs, not taking my eyes off the kitchen. As I reached the foyer, the light flickered out, plunging me into darkness. I bolted upstairs, locked my door, and called my brother. Straight to voicemail. I sat on my bed, trying to calm down. Maybe it was the pipes, or the house settling. But the tapping had been so deliberate, and that thud, it wasn't random. I didn't sleep until dawn. In the morning, my brother called back, saying he was still out of town. I checked his apartment again. No book, no mess, nothing to explain the noise. I've never had sleep issues or heard things before, but that night felt too real to dismiss. I still avoid the downstairs when I'm alone. I peeked again. The figure was still there, staring up at my window. I turned off my game and sat in the dark, too scared to move. My window was slightly open, and I worried they'd hear me breathing. After maybe 10 minutes, I looked again. They were gone. Relieved, I started to relax. Then the knocking came again, louder from the back door. I crept to the top of the stairs, listening. The doorknob rattled like someone was testing it. Thank God it was locked. The rattling stopped, and I heard footsteps fading away. I stayed in my room until Mom got home at 5 a.m. I told her everything, and she checked the porch. No footprints, no signs. She was mad I didn't call 911, and I felt dumb for freezing up. If the door hadn't been locked, I don't know what would have happened. I was scrawny back then, no match for anyone. Another time, at 12, I faced something worse. We were a family of 5. Me, my parents, my brother, and my little sister, who was 7. One night, my parents got a call that my grandpa had fallen and was in the hospital. They rushed out, taking my sister but leaving me and my brother, who was out with friends. They asked if I was okay alone. I said yes, not wanting to see Grandpa hurt. They left in a panic, promising to call. I stayed in my room, watching cartoons. Around 11 p.m., I heard the front door open. Thinking it was my brother, I called out, but no one answered. I muted the TV and listened. Footsteps, heavy and slow, in the living room. I crept to my door and peeked out. 3 tall figures stood downstairs in the dark, whispering. They weren't my family. My stomach dropped. I eased my door shut, but it clicked. I scrambled into my closet, hiding behind a pile of clothes and a skateboard. Footsteps climbed the stairs. My bedroom door creaked open. Someone walked in, paused by my bed, then moved to the closet. The door swung open. I held my breath, staring at the floor, praying I was hidden. After a long silence, maybe 20 seconds, the door closed and the footsteps left. I stayed hidden until my parents got home around 2 a.m. The front door was ajar. They'd forgotten to lock it. Our TV and some jewelry were gone. Police found nothing. I still wonder if they saw me in the closet and left me alone, or didn't see me at all. At 18, I was alone for a week while my parents vacationed in Florida. We lived in a rural area near Dayton, Ohio, with dense woods behind our house. One night, I was on the back deck, listening to music through earbuds. I heard a faint voice, like someone calling from the woods, about 40 feet away. I pulled out my earbuds and listened. "Help!" it said, low and urgent. I thought it was a hiker, maybe lost. I called out, "Who's there?" The voice replied, "Please, we're hurt, come here." I grabbed a flashlight and stepped toward the woods, shouting, "Where are you?" The voice answered, "Straight ahead, we see you." My flashlight caught a glimpse of movement, branches shifting, but no one. Uneasy, I stopped. "How many of you are there?" I asked. Silence. My gut screamed to run. I backed toward the house, not turning around. The voice didn't call again. I locked every door and stayed inside. Later, I heard rustling closer, near the deck. Peeking through the blinds, I saw a figure by the garage, too dark to make out. I yelled, "I'm armed!" A lie, and dialed 911. Police found footprints, but no one. I slept with a bat by my bed, wondering if it was one person or a group, and why they wanted me in the woods. At 21, still at home, I had a final scare. My parents were out, and I was raking leaves in the front yard. Glancing up, I saw a woman in our upstairs window. Not my mom, not my sister. She vanished when I looked. I searched the house, every room, closet, even the attic. Nothing. The back door was unlocked. I'd left it open to grab the rake. I figured she'd slipped out. That night, I couldn't sleep, replaying the image. Around 2 a.m., I heard a creak from my closet. I flicked on the light, and a woman lunged out, eyes wild, clothes tattered. I screamed, shoving her against the wall. My neighbor, alerted by my yell, pounded on the door. I dragged her downstairs, and he helped restrain her until police arrived. They knew her, a drifter who'd broken into homes before. Seeing her cuffed was a relief, but I still check my closet every night.